Let's talk about how the wealthy build, protect, and pass their money on. Because the truth is, the wealthy, they don't focus on owning everything, they focus on controlling everything. So they separate who earns the income, who owns the asset, and who benefits from it. See, you don't have to own the asset to control it. I didn't always know that. You just have to control the entity that owns it. So that's the key. So they use layers of structures like an LLC, holding companies, and trust. That directs how their money flows and how it's taxed and also how it's protected. So let me break it down a little bit, okay? So the operating company, that's the business that earns the money. So it might be your tax consulting, your content creators, or your cleaning services. So that business collects income from customers, clients, and contracts. So then we have the holding company. So it doesn't work for clients. It owns your business, owns your brand, and sometimes your real estate. So it collects management fees or royalties from your operating business. And that's how the money flows upward legally. So you can do that while reducing your taxable income. And so the next that we have, like the management or the property company. So that's where you put your cars, equipment, and your leases. So it's invoices for your operating company. It's for the usage. So that's another legal deduction under the IRC Section 162, ordinary and necessary expenses. And finally, you have your trust. That sits at the top. That owns it all. So the trust doesn't work. It protects, it controls, and it directs where your money goes after you're gone. So if anyone sues you, they can't touch your personal assets because you don't own them, right? Your entity do. And your trust owns the entity. So let's talk about taxes because this is where the wealthy play their cards right. So regular folks like us, we pay taxes on what we earn. The wealthy, they pay taxes on how they structure their business. So they shift money from earned income, which is taxed up to like 37%. So they shift that into passive income and capital gains tax, and that's around 15 to 20%. And some even into tax-free income. So that happens through like your trust, your life insurance, or your foundation. So it's not illegal, they're just really being strategic. So understand that the tax code, they reward people who create jobs, who own assets and build structures. So for many of us who's running a small business or a side hustle, we have to start thinking like the wealthy. So what you want to do, first of all, is form your LLC for protection. Then you want to add a holding company to manage your brand and your IP. And then you want to create a trust to protect your family's legacy. So understand that the broke, they pay taxes on income, but the wealthy, they pay taxes on the strategy. What I come to learn was that wealth wasn't built by working harder. It's built by structuring smarter. And actually, the IRS, they reward tax avoidance, not tax evasions. So when your money have direction and your legacy have protection, that's wealth and that's structure. So, and that's how the wealthy, they protect it and pass it on. So what you want to do, first of all, again, step by step, form an LLC with your state or your liability protection. You can obtain an EIN from the IRS. Definitely open a separate bank account. Track your income and your expenses separately. That's really important. You can elect S Corp status when your profits, when you have a payroll. And make sure you guys keep good records to substantiate your deductions. A lot of returns that I worked on was not rejected, but denied because they didn't keep good records. You need to be able to substantiate your deductions. I am also going to put in the IRS section, the IRC codes that allows you to do these things. And I'm also going to come back and we're going to break down a little more the business structures and how that works, okay? And why the structure works for the type of industry that you're working in. Because we have a lot of small businesses. And don't think just because you're not a big business or corporation that this can't work for you. All right. So, we all have to start from somewhere. And I want you guys to understand how the tax system works. So Hopefully this content will be good for you and you'll take this information and do something with it. So until then, you guys be good and you be well.